Hello everyone, my name is Shweta and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to share how I applied for a Canada Super Visa for my parents. This video is based on my own experience and my goal is to give you a clear overview of what you should prepare before starting the application. First, I'll explain the basic prerequisites for the applicants. This includes having a passport with enough validity, purchasing the required medical insurance, and completing a medical examination with an IRCC-approved panel physician. Passport validity is especially important because the authorized stay cannot go beyond the passport's expiry date. For example, even though a super visa may allow a parent or grandparent to stay in Canada for up to 5 years per entry, a passport that expires in 2 years may limit that stay. Next, I'll cover the host requirements. The host must be applicant's biological or adopted child or grandchild, must be at least 18 years old, live in Canada, have an eligible status in Canada, and meet the applicable minimum income requirement. For the complete eligibility requirements and latest updates, I recommend visiting the official IRCC website. I have included the direct link in the description below. In my case, I was the host and I am a Canadian citizen and I live in Canada and I met the required income threshold. To prove my Canadian status, I included my Canadian passport. For proof of my relationship with my parents, I used my OCI document because it clearly listed both of my parents' names. Depending on your situation, you may also be able to use documents such as a birth certificate or passport that shows the parent-child relationship. Next, I'll go through the main documents we submitted, including the invitation letter, proof of relationship with the host, medical insurance documents, the IME document received after the medical exam, and the proof of host's Canadian status. I also used the use of representative form because I completed the application for my parents. To make things easier, I have attached a sample invitation letter which clearly explains the purpose of their visit, where they would stay, and how I would support them during their time in Canada, and a copy of the Manulife medical insurance document that I use. Please use this invitation letter as a reference and update it based on your own family situation. The visitor visa and super visa application processes through the IRCC portal are generally very similar. Please watch my step-by-step Canada Visitor Visa application video on this channel. I will link it on the screen and in this description. However, there are some important differences, including the authorized length of stay, medical insurance, medical examination, and additional supporting documents. I will explain these differences clearly in this video. Since most of the questions and the application steps are same as the visitor visa process, I won't repeat every screen in this video. I'll focus only on the sections that are different for the super visa. On the IRCC portal homepage, click on the link Apply for a Visitor Visa or Transit Visa even if you're applying for a super visa. Next, it will show eligibility criteria and you will have 60 days to complete this application. Click I acknowledge and start the application. Next, it will ask whether you are applying for more than one person. Select yes or no depending on your personal situation. If you select yes, you need to add the member and then click continue and continue with the principal applicant first. To apply for a visitor visa or super visa, why do you need a visa? Here I selected to visit my children or grandchildren for more than 6 months since you are applying for super visa. Then you need to specify as to what you will do in Canada. When will you enter Canada and when will you leave Canada? This can be more than 6 months up to 5 years as you are applying for a super visa. Then click save and continue. Next, it will ask series of questions. These are very similar to visitor visa. And then in the medical background question, have you had a medical exam performed by IRCC authorized person? Select yes and provide the IME number you received after performing the medical exam and click save and continue. Next, it will ask some series of questions. These questions are very similar to visitor visa again. And last step would be the documents to support your application and the format in which you need to upload. The first document is the letter of invitation. I had attached a sample document already in this video. Next is the proof of income. I attached my T4 here. National identity document. I uploaded my Aadhaar card for my parents. Passport or travel document with a validity of 5 years. Funds or proof, I attached the recent bank statement for last 4 months. Relationship proof, I attached the OCI document here. Health insurance, I attached the Manulife insurance policy document. And you can attach any other optional documents. I attached my employment letter also because it showed the annual salary, and you can attach any other additional documents and click Save and Continue. Next, it will ask you to provide your consent by reviewing and accepting the declarations required by IRCC, and you will pay the application fees using a valid credit or debit card. The fees shown in your account will depend on your application and whether biometrics are required. Finally, submit your application, and after submission, you will receive a confirmation in your IRCC account, and you can use the same account to track your application status and any future requests from IRCC. At this point, your Super Visa application has been successfully submitted. If you have submitted your application, the next step depends on your individual situation and the instructions you receive from IRCC. If biometrics are required, IRCC will send you a biometric instruction letter through your IRCC account. You can then book your appointment at your nearest visa application center to have your fingerprints and photograph taken. After IRCC has reviewed your application, the next major update is usually the passport request. Once you receive this request, you will need to submit your passport to the visa application center so that the super visa can be stamped. In my parents' case, the process was even simpler. They had already provided their biometrics about 2 years earlier, and those biometrics were still valid. Because of that, we received the passport request directly. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might find it useful, and don't forget to subscribe to Maple Pathways for more Canada immigration and newcomer tips. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.